Chapter 22. YItian Pavilion, old man watching chess. Song City, in a small courtyard. The king of Song and the crown prince of Song. The two of them were rescued, and at the moment, they were quite a mess. The two of them kneeling on the ground, kneeling in front of the Song armor patriarch and a handsome young man. Patriarch, great-grandfather, we are incompetent, causing the Song kingdom to be lost. The Song king said with a bitter face. It's all because of Gu Hai. That Gu Hai is terrifying. We couldn't defend ourselves. Prince Song also said with a bitter face. Patriarch Song A's face was gloomy and didn't say anything, but the handsome young man on the side said in a cold voice, "Don't call me great-grandpa. I don't have you to waste for children and grandchildren. Forgive me, great-grandfather." King Song immediately kowtowed. "All right, King Shu, the matter is over. The Song kingdom has been destroyed. It's better to think about the future," Patriarch Song Jie said indifferently. The handsome youth looked at the Song king's father and son with a gloomy face, then turned to Patriarch Song and respectfully said, "Yes, senior, this Xuan son of mine has disgraced the clan this time. Yes, many thanks to Master for taking care of them," Song King Shu respectfully said. "This Gu Hai indeed has some ability, actually being promoted to helmsman as soon as he joined the One Piece Hall." Patriarch Song Jie's eyes narrowed slightly as he said, "First level of the innate realm? That's really ridiculous. Playing plots and tricks, still a little clever, but in front of absolute power, that's a joke," Song King Shu said in a cold voice. Although he had just scolded his own children and grandchildren, but he still held a grudge against Gu Hai for making his offspring lose a country. "You guys go out first," Patriarch Song Jie said in a deep voice. Yes, King Song and Prince Song immediately retreated. "Senior, do you have something to explain?" Song King Shu curiously said. Why?" Song King Shu revealed a hint of surprise. Song Armor Sect Master said in a deep voice. "Don't worry, Master. I understand," Song King Shu said with a sardonic smile on his face. Song City, the residence where Gu Han was, righteous father. "You look younger than me now." Gu Han excitedly circled around Gu Hai. Gu Hai smiled faintly and slowly sat down. Gu Han immediately poured tea for Gu Hai. Instead, Gu Hai flipped his hand and took out a purple token. Buzz, suddenly, 6 more top-grade spirit stones and a book of bamboo slips appeared on the table. "One for you and one for Gu Qin. During my absence, the least to the innate realm technique. You guys can cultivate it first," Gu Hai commanded. "Yes," Gu Han answered. Just now, Patriarch King made the decision to allocate all of the Chen Kingdom north of the Tiger Prison. "Pass to my Gu Mansion." Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly and said, That's a quarter of the Chen Kingdom's territory." Gu Han was surprised. Is a quarter a lot? I've helped the Chen Kingdom retake 3/4 of it, and gave away a huge Song Kingdom to the Chen Kingdom. A small area is just a small area. And to cultivators, what is this area worth? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. "Yes, my child has been short-sighted." Gu Han nodded bitterly. "Short-sighted? Because you have not seen far enough. As long as you see more, it is not short-sighted, although there is not much contact with them. But I found that these clans, as if they are not abandoning the mortals. As if they have a great use. What exactly do they need the mortals for? I am still not clear. I will go here and will slowly explore. Before I leave, I will give you brothers a task," Gu Hai said in a deep voice. "Righteous father, please say," Gu Han solemnly said. "The 10 cities within the Tiger Prison Pass will be well managed. At the same time, according to those drawings I left behind, the Tiger Prison Pass will be Ray." "Yes," Gu Han answered. Yes," Gu Han's face grew serious. "I'm relying on you and Gu Qin to manage it well," Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Righteous father, don't worry. Your temperament still lacks some honing. I will no longer period. If there are differences with Gu Qin, to Gu Qin decision-oriented, Gu Hai said again. Yes, Gu Han said with a bitter smile. But there was a hint of defiance in his eyes. Gu Hai ignored Gu Han's feelings. This time he was going to leave and didn't know when he would return. He had to make arrangements. 3 days later, Song City. Gu Hai and Long Wanqing converged again. On top of a square, Chen Liongyi led the group of ministers, along with the people of King sect and Song Jia sect, to send off the 9 people: Long Wanqing, Master Liu Nian, 3 of Long Wanqing's servants, Chen Chonchen, Song Qingshu, Gao Xianzi, and Gu Hai. All right, let's go, Long Wanqing spoke. Yes, a servant in green answered. Probing his hand, he waved it. Boom. A huge white ship appeared steeply in front of the crowd. Long Wanqing walked in front and the group followed. Stepping onto the deck, Gu Hai realized that the ship had a group of palaces in general that were clearly separated. This is my white cloud flying boat. Take off. Long Wanqing opened her mouth and smiled. Yes. A servant answered and ran to a large elevated platform not far away, on top of which there was a huge steering wheel and many operating parts in general. Under Gu Hai's astonished gaze, the servant operated the parts and the flying boat slowly flew up towards the sky. Farewell, Hallmaster. The chants of the crowd came from below, and Gu Hai was still amazed in the picture in front of him. This is an airplane or... But Gu Hai quickly calmed down. Gu Hai merely stared downwards while the flying boat grew faster and faster, and after flying high in the sky, it suddenly flew quickly in the southeast direction. Shoo. Ah, yes, Chen Chonchen smiled bitterly, although there was some reluctance, but the order of the Hallmaster had to be honored. Yes, Song Qingshu answered, turning his head to look at Gu Hai, a cold smile flashing from the corner of his eyes. Greetings, Hallmaster. Chen Chonchen and Song Qingshu bowed slightly to Gu Hai. Gu Hai nodded. Chen Chonchen, in the past, I was unable to go out in the mortal region because the surrounding mountains and forests had a large number of poisonous insects and demonic beasts. Can you tell me about the surrounding situation? Gu Hai looked at Chen Chonchen. Yes, I don't dare to, barbarian helmsman. The place where we are is called 9 and 5 Islands. On the 9 and 5 Islands, there are 5 sects situated at the same time. There are 6 mortal inhabited regions, and each mortal inhabited region has a couple of countries, and these dozens of countries are respectively attached to our 5 major sects, just like the Chen country, which is attached to my king sect in general. Chen Chonchen explained. 6 mortal inhabited regions. So our previous 6 countries under heaven was just one of the mortal inhabited regions. Yes, all the countries are attached to the 5 great sects. Wouldn't that mean that the people here are all captive to the 5 great sects? Gu Hai raised an eyebrow and said, if the helmsman understands it this way, it's fine, Chen Chonchen explained. Gu Hai, however, had a tumble in his heart. It was pretty much as he had guessed. These sects, they cared about mortals as well. 9-5 Islands. We're a sea island. Gu Hai marveled. Shoo. The flying boat flew very quickly, and before long, it flew out of this area and entered the vast ocean. Looking from afar, the place where Gu Hai was indeed a huge sea island. At this moment, it was like flying in space and looking at the earth. Only the area was bigger and more expansive. A sea, boundless. 9 to 5 islands. Where is that continent? Gu Hai curiously said. It's called the Divine Continent Earth, and the place where we are is located in the northeast beyond the Divine Continent Earth. The Thousand Island Sea. Chen Chonchen explained. Thousand Island Sea. You mean there are as many as 1,000 islands the size of the 9-5 Islands? Gu Hai looked at Chen Chonchen in surprise. Yes, 1,000 large islands, of course. There are also some small islands that are not insignificant, so they are not counted, and my 9-5 island can only be considered a medium-sized island, Chen Chonchen explained. Gu Hai was silent for a while and nodded. Sure enough, after some time, a giant island was once again visible from afar, but the speed of the flying boat did not decrease and continued to fly. Helmsman, it just so happens that I have a map of the Thousand Islands Sea. Song King Shu laughed on the side. As he spoke, Song King Shu took out a huge piece of animal skin, and on top of the animal skin, 1,000 dots were labeled. Each dot was labeled with a name. Gu Hai looked at it. Huh, Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. What's wrong? This Thousand Islands Sea, the positional arrangement of each island is like a game of chess, and this island is the chess piece. Gu Hai frowned slightly and said. Gu Hai, however, narrowed his eyes slightly and did not explain. But Gu Hai's words were heard by the side of Master Liu Nian, whose expression moved, revealing a hint of surprise. Mr. Gu, what did you just say? This is like a game of chess. Master Liu Nian stared at Gu Hai and asked, Huh, I made it up off the top of my head. Gu Hai's expression shifted, and he immediately said with a smile, Grandmaster, did the helmsman say something wrong? Gao Xianzi opened his mouth and asked. Bullshit, Mr. Gu's made up. But he made up the right thing. Master Liu Nian ignored Gao Xianzi and stared at Gu Haidao. What? A game of Go? The Go board, with 19 lines each vertical and horizontal, only has 361 positions are, Song King Shu said in disbelief, who stipulated that there can only be 19 lines each longitudinally and horizontally. Long Wanqing asked back. When the number of longitudinal and latitudinal reaches 32 each, you can put down 1,000 pieces, Long Wanqing said indifferently. This Thousand Islands Sea is a game of chess, with islands as the chess pieces. Gu Hai was surprised. He himself had been living on top of a chess piece before. Just who was it that was so bold as to use an island as a chess piece? 800 years ago, the owner of the game Heaven Pavilion, the old man who watches chess was laid, Long Wanqing explained. Old man chess viewer. 800 years ago. Could it be that this chessboard hasn't moved for 800 years? Gu Hai was puzzled, because 800 years ago, the chess viewing elder had already perished, and this game for the ages, played up to this point, would have ended. Play. Who did he play with? Gu Hai marveled. Kang Tian, Long Wanqing said with a solemn expression. Kang Tian, the crowd revealed a bewildered look. The old man who watched the chess game sensed that his end was near, so he set up a big game of fighting with the heavens to play against the heavens. This Thousand Islands of the Sea originally is the game where the pavilion, 800 years ago, destroyed, leaving this piece of the Thousand Islands of the remnants of the game. So far no one can solve, Long Wanqing explained. Thousand Islands remnant game, playing against the sky. Elder chess watcher. Gu Hai's eyelids flickered, viewing all beings in the world as chess pieces. It is observing chess, Long Wanqing explained. All beings are chess pieces, and heaven and earth are chessboards. What a great vigor. I hate that I was 800 years late and didn't get to witness the scene that All Master was talking about. Gu Hai was shocked.